Wait, when did you have time? Oh, yeah. Okay, well, get in there. All right.
No. No more. No more.
Army of the Dead is yet another 2021 Zack Snyder streaming blockbuster, which this time is less about superheroes like Batman and more about the super cool idea where his Batman is actually a zombie. And the past few years considered, it is really great to see Snyder putting out all these films as well as all the positivity they're generating. Being honest, I too went into this film with the intention of building on my 300 video by once again analyzing Snyder's signature visual style. But the thing is, Army of the Dead just isn't very stylistic, at least nowhere near the level of Snyder's earlier work like 300. Really the only standout stylistic thing here is the very frequent use of shallow depth of field, which is done so strongly that not only is it difficult to make out the shining backgrounds, but sometimes even the expressions of the characters.
Freeze there. Times 10. Enhance, then forward frame by frame. Now just before the view's blocked, there's a shape change. See the shadow variance?
What do you think it is?
Maybe it's nothing.
Maybe it's everything.
And with that said, the thing that did stand out to me about this film, however, is the consequences of it being one man's movie. See, whereas Warner's was perhaps a bit too controlling when it came to what Snyder had to or couldn't do, here it seems to be the opposite. It's as if Netflix gave Snyder a budget and then just let him off to do whatever he wanted. Because what Zack Snyder wanted to do, he did. Not only did he direct the film, not only did he produce and co-write it, he also served as the cinematographer. Like, Army of the Dead is more of a Zack Snyder movie than any other, and this way also a great case study of the dangers associated with that. Because as great as creative control can be, it can also be a problem when there's nobody there to say no, nobody there to make the filmmaker see outside the box they're trapped in. It's what happened with George Lucas's prequels, it's what happened with Michael Bay's later Transformers movies, it is what happens in Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. And once again, I'm not here to say whether that makes the movie good or bad, or whether you should or shouldn't enjoy it. I'm only here to draw lessons from it that this time just happened to be negative in nature. So let's do that. Let's dive into my notes on Google Drive that hopefully this time won't glitch sign me out, and take a look at Army of the Dead to identify the downsides born from the fact of it being one man's movie. So that next time you're in full creative control, you'll know what to watch out for. The first issue here is that the film repeatedly sacrifices basic character motivations in exchange for pure cool spectacle that the filmmaker wanted to have, which degrades everything from story to heroes and villains. Take for example the opening that serves as the foundation for the story. A squad of soldiers are hauling this unknown cargo to an unknown destination for unknown reasons when it just so happens that they bump into this distracted newly married couple. Which then leads to the soldiers' zombie cargo escaping and infecting the adjacent town of Las Vegas, aka the basis for the whole movie. And what I want you to notice about this opening basis is the lack of any motivation. What happens here isn't built on a character's need to make it happen, it isn't built on a villain's goal of setting the plot in motion. It's all built on this random unmotivated event featuring random unimportant people that happens simply because of the spectacle it creates. Maybe you don't see an issue yet, but just keep this in mind. Now for example, take the human villain side, where we have this Japanese casino millionaire who wants our main hero Bautista to assemble a crew and break into the zombie-infested Las Vegas to...
There's $200 million in the basement vault beneath the strip. I want you to put together a team and get it out.
In other words, the millionaire's motivation is greed. Not anything special, but understandable. It's this motivation that's clearly pushing things forward, which remains the case until, as our heroes are busy with the vault, the millionaire's henchman then breaks off on the side mission to take the queen zombie's head with them. And then, after the heroes have gotten the money and are about to escape up to the chopper on the roof...
Hey, what are you doing?
Tanaka doesn't give a shit about the money. What's in this bag? Worth 10 times what's in that vault. I'm gonna go kill that dumbass pilot. Fly myself out of here. Au revoir.
And the problem you'll find with this big betrayal twist is that it isn't born from character motivation. It's born purely for the spectacle it brings. Because it's like, if the millionaire actually wants the queen zombie's head, then why didn't he just hire a team to go get that? Or if it needs to be a secret, why not just send henchmen to handle it with a couple locals, which is how it's done anyway. In any case, it makes no sense from the character point of view to hire a full squad of mercenaries to break into the bank vault just to then betray and leave them behind to antagonize them. Like, what do you mean you're gonna kill the pilot and fly away alone? Why wouldn't you just fly away with all these people as planned? You have the head and even the money. There's no reason for this betrayal.
And if the henchman has the head before the others have even opened the vault, why does he go back there to wait around? Why doesn't he just walk out the same way he came in before the zombies realize what he did?
As in, it's the same as with the opening. This big betrayal twist doesn't happen because a character's need makes it happen. It happens because the filmmaker wasn't as concerned about how it happens as he was excited for the spectacle of extreme elevated stakes that it brings.
Good. That's one less loose end.
As another example, look at our main protagonist Bautista, who takes the heist job for a paycheck of $50 million to give to his estranged daughter, who by the way happens to be working at the Las Vegas containment border. The motivation is iffy already on its own because it's never established what the daughter needs that kind of money for, but what I want you to focus on here is this moment where the daughter realizes that her friend, who is a mother of 2 kids, has gone missing inside Vegas, which then leads to...
I'm coming with you. There are 2 kids whose mother is lost in there. 2 kids that I help look out for. I have to find her.
Guys, newest member of the team.
How's it going?
Again, really think about what you're seeing. If Bautista's motivation for going on this mission is purely to give his daughter a good life, why the hell would he let her come with him to the place we've seen him fail to protect people's lives before? Stupid! Or on the other side, if the daughter knows the kids have nobody else than their mother and her, why would she just leave them alone? Stupid! I get that the daughter coming along elevates the stakes, but you have to make it happen through character motivations. Have Bautista hire someone to safely take his daughter away from Vegas. Have the daughter find a temporary guardian for the kids and then escape and sneak into Vegas on her own. This way you get the same exact high stakes result, but you get it in a way that's made to happen by the characters. Because when your character's motivations aren't in a driver's seat, it will degrade them into unclear, boring pushovers. There's for example this moment soon after where one of the side characters decides to sacrifice another to the zombies.
If we want to go further, we have to make a trade. What?
Trade? No trade. Really?
Yes, an offering.
And the whole time Bautista never says or does anything about it. Like, if your main hero is so unmotivated that he expresses no opinion whatsoever about someone in his group being sacrificed, why is he your main hero? I understand the value of spectacle. I understand the coolness of a new type of zombies who operate intelligently instead of their usual motivated hunger for flesh. But just be careful not to lose the course of your characters in the process. If we have zombies who can be bartered with, zombies who will have a boxing match with us instead of just biting us, at that point can we really think of them as zombies anymore? Are we even sure what or who it is we should think of them as? And so, no matter the cool spectacle you want to create, don't let your story and characters be degraded into unclear, illogical empty shells who get pushed by that spectacle. The second issue with Army of the Dead is that it's not as much a movie as it is all these totally different movies constantly fighting each other to the point where the audience isn't sure what to feel. Let's for example start with the zombie side, which initially is introduced along the lines of a straight-up horror movie. After which we then get to this signature Zack Snyder backstory montage that showcases the zombies in a more light-hearted, ironically comical tone. But to be fair, the main point here is to establish the zombies as unstoppable killing machines who will take down even an army out in the open, which is consistent with the opening. The last shot of the montage, for example, clearly establishes Las Vegas as this walled-off death trap, the primary feeling we take from it. But once we actually return to Vegas at the hour mark, watch how it plays out. Are we immediately back in the same zombie death trap we left off on? Do we have to once again fight for our lives against a swarm of unstoppable killing machines? Well...
There they are. They're shamblers. What's left of them.
Yeah, suddenly there are no zombies at all, to the point where you can just waltz in like it's your local coffee shop, because the movie now wants to introduce these intelligent zombies who will leave you alone in exchange for just one person. Meaning that now we're not really sure what to think. We were led to feel that Vegas is a death trap, but now it isn't. We were led to feel that zombies will kill everyone in their path, but now they don't. So what should we feel? Well, after some more waltzing around, we then come to this dark hallway where we finally find...
Don't touch them. I've seen this before. They're hibernating.
Right, so now that we finally come across normal zombies from the montage, turns out that they're quote-unquote hibernating, which again we have no context for based on what we've seen before. What does it mean they're hibernating? If they don't wake up to this dude screaming in their face, then will they ever wake up? Should we feel threatened by these zombies or not? Well, luckily then the zombies do wake up, which means that based on what we've seen, we can finally once again fear them as unstoppable killing machines who can overwhelm even an army in the open. Yeah, so now the zombies who took over the whole of Las Vegas are suddenly so harmless that they can't even take down one lone survivor in a tight dark space. So I guess we shouldn't take them seriously after all. Oh wait, now the zombies are such a serious threat that the lone survivor's friends don't even bother to help her because it's pointless.
Come on, leave her! She's dead!
So I guess we should take them serious. Oh wait, now they're a joke again. Oh wait, now they're serious again because it's the different zombies. Oh wait, no, now those zombies too are so harmless that a civilian girl with a pistol can take down a full pack of them. The point I'm getting at is that because the established rules and tone of the zombie movie keep flipping and changing depending on what the filmmaker in the moment wants to do, the precedents they've set kinda lose their value. Because if the audience's existing feelings get voided and reformed with every new zombie encounter, what is there for them to feel? As a couple more examples, look at the human side. One moment the Vegas outbreak is presented to be such a serious threat to humanity that the US government has to wall off the city and schedule a nuclear strike on it.
With the US military suffering massive casualties and being forced to retreat.
And the next moment, the people in the Vegas containment zones are so worried about the government's indifference that they need to buy themselves out.
These guards, they don't give a shit. But for $5,000, I can buy my way out. Me and my kids.
So let me get this straight. The government is so serious about this outbreak that they're willing to nuke a part of their own country, but at the same time so not serious that potential virus carriers can just bribe their way out of containment with the price of a few iPhones. And so again, it's like, is this Vegas outbreak a new big deal to humanity, or do we actually live in a world where zombie outbreaks are already so commonplace that nobody takes them seriously anymore? Should I care or should I not care? Same thing, for example, when Bautista's daughter wants to go with him into Vegas. We already saw Bautista lose a bunch of people inside, which makes the journey seem like a big deal. But now that he's willing to just let his only daughter tag along for the journey, it makes it seem like an extreme family vacation. So once again, which is it? Should I take this journey into Vegas as a serious thing, or should I not? I understand the value in variety, but you still have to remain faithful to the precedents you've established. Because if the audience's expectations and perceived norms are repeatedly torn down and rebuilt to the point where they have no clue what to even feel anymore, chances are they won't. Oh, give me a sec, guys. It just signed me out of Google Drive. I need to ask for a new password because I don't remember, because I always use different ones for different sites now in case they have a breach, which cost me once. Unless, alright, I have all my logins stored in my password manager. I can just let it autofill it. Right on, back in business. Really useful, this NordPass password manager, huh guys? It securely stores all your logins in one vault that you can access with a single master password, which defeats the hassle of remembering each login for every site. A lot safer than storing your logins in your browser, and in the age of digital coin wallets, you do want to be safe. I mean, NordPass can even generate complex, unguessable passwords and autofill them for you. It lets you share your Netflix login safely. It keeps track of all your online accounts and credit cards to see if they've been compromised. And yes, it can also store your your credit card info, which again is much safer than storing them to all these sites. It is difficult to really appreciate something like this until the worst happens, but when the worst does happen, and today it does way too frequently, it's already too late. So really consider it. NordPass is sponsoring a special 70% off Filmento June discount with an extra month for free, which you can check out at nordpass.com/Filmento by using code Filmento. Your Dogecoins are a big deal, so keep them safe. The third issue here is that Zack Snyder seems to treat this movie essentially as a long checklist of all these different story beats and moments that he feels he has to incorporate, regardless of consequences. First off, you have story beats that feel so uninspired, it's like they were never intended to be anything else. Like, for example, is the case early on when Bautista goes to gather his crew for the heist, which basically plays out as...
Nobody needs to know our cut.
It could be cathartic.
100%. I'm in. Yeah.
Who the hell do I gotta kill?
I can, with humility, say yes.
You're in?
There's no conflict, no stakes, no tension, no obstacles, nothing. The story beats just unfold as is. Bautista asks these people to join his crew, the people say yes. The millionaire asks to talk to Bautista about the heist, Bautista sits down to talk. The crew goes to listen to the millionaire's plan, all it is a bunch of verbal and visual information and nothing more. Like, it's almost as if the movie feels obligated to show all these scenes it doesn't like and therefore wants to just skip through them as fast as possible. Which, funny enough...
You always have that scene in a heist movie where they like lay out the plan. So this is the obligatory warehouse scene where everyone gets together to find out what the plan for the movie is.
Now, obviously Snyder might have been joking here, but for the sake of clarity, there should be no quote-unquote obligatory scenes in your movie. No scenes that you just throw in with the validation that it's what happens in the genre. Either you do something with the scenes of Bautista assembling his crew, as well as every other scene, or you find a way to cut them all together. Because if your film plays out like it's bored of itself, how do you think the audience is doing? And then on the other side of this, you have elements that Snyder was clearly so excited to incorporate that he never felt the need to present them as anything more than what they are on their own. For example, when the crew enters Las Vegas, they immediately come across this new horrific zombie monster in the form of...
It's a goddamn zombie tiger.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
The zombie tiger might look like a big deal, but the problem is that it's not introduced as such. It's not a situation here, it's not an obstacle we have to overcome. It's not like any of our heroes are in actual danger. The tiger just casually steps on some nearby cars as if the movie's putting on a runway show to show off its cool new CGI designs. Or right after, there's the moment where the local guide sacrifices the border guard as a gift to the intelligent zombies. Again, not a situation. We're not under stress, we're not solving a problem, we're not being attacked by a swarm of zombies and then choosing to sacrifice the guy as a last resort to survive. No, the sacrifice is preemptively offered, the zombies show up to drag it away, that's it. Or take the moment where the heroes learn that the nuclear strike is pushed up to take place in just an hour. In what highly significant way is this highly significant turn established?
Has made the dramatic choice to not postpone the bombing, but rather to move it up, now coming at sunset tonight.
In order for something to feel significant to the audience, you have to sell it to them as such. Your movie might have the most powerful narrative element in history, but if its existence is built solely on our characters looking at it on TV, that power won't even make it through the screen.
We got a problem. They moved the bomb up.
Oh, nice!
And then we have cases like the opening montage, where there is so much excitement and effort put in that it ultimately takes away from the things that matter more. Like, sure, seeing how the entirety of Las Vegas descended into zombie madness is awesome, but now what we don't see is how the outbreak on a personal character level affected Bautista and his family, how it interrupted their life, how it infected his wife. What we don't see is the basis for the current struggle that Bautista has with his daughter. That stuff is reduced to tiny unclear flashbacks or just assumptions you have to make in the moment.
It's not the fact that you killed my mother. It's that you never showed up after. You weren't there. Scott, you didn't call, you didn't visit, you didn't talk about it.
And so, as much fun as this montage must have been to make, sometimes you gotta let go of the big stuff you wanna do and instead spend that time on the small, intimate stuff that carries more value. And then, as one more thing, we also have scenes that kind of break the whole experience, like for example happens outside the bank vault. Basically, our heroes know that there are pressure plate traps leading to the vault and now need to find a way to spring them, a problem they solve with a zombie. And as cool and fun as this zombie trap moment may be, it's all overshadowed by the questions it raises. Like, why do they need a zombie for this? Why can't they just throw something heavy on the pressure plates? Why the f are there Indiana Jones traps outside a Las Vegas bank vault? Well, the answer to this, along with everything else, is that it's on Zack Snyder's checklist. And to be clear, none of this is to say Zack Snyder doesn't know how to make movies, because he knows more than you and I combined. All of this is to say only that even if you know every single thing there is to know about making movies, you still need other people to tell you no. You need people to make you see that the scene needs to be better. You need people to make you realize that this powerful thing on its own isn't nearly as powerful as you thought. You need people to help you look outside the box that you as the filmmaker in charge are trapped in. Whether you're Zack Snyder, whether you're George Lucas, whether you're Michael Bay, whether you're Chris Nolan, or whether you're just you.